All right, good evening. Welcome on this beautiful Monday afternoon. I am Saucy. I'm going to be one of your casters for today. I am joined here by...
I'm Kyler.
Welcome, welcome. And today we have a really good lineup here for some Apex Legends. Let's go into our first 20 teams.
Yeah, so firstly we're going to have UB Apex Varsity, George Fox Apex Varsity, OC Esports Eagles, AWPE Apex, RMC Apex 2, King's College, Mustangs Esports Apex, UMT Apex Glacier, SPU Peacocks Apex, and SUNY Canton A.
And for our next teams, we're going to have Vandals Apex University, Purdue Apex, Maverick Apex Gold, ASE Apex Royal, Junita College, SAU Apex, EKU Apex Maroon, BCP Apex, and WSC Apex Academy A. And going into these maps today, do you have a team favorite? Are you looking at a certain team today, someone that you're really voting for to get that win?
Yeah, honestly, I'm really intrigued by Purdue. They've performed really solid in the last games that we've seen them play, and so I think that they're going to end up coming out on top.
Purdue University. Me personally, I'm going to have to go with my boys over at GFU. I personally know the guys. Super solid team, I really believe. And they are actually last season's champions.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see how they go through with that. The boys over there really put in the work, put in the effort. And, just knowing them helps you cheer on for them. Today we're going to be going to World's Edge for 2 maps, and then we're going to go Storm Point for 2 maps. What do you think about that map rotation? What are we looking at?
Honestly, I can't say too much about it. I'm not a big Apex guy, in all honesty.
Hey, we're both behind the camera.
That's true.
And we're here in front of the camera now. So we're going to take our behind the camera experience and see if that'll shine through, get our voices out there,
Yeah, exactly. I think that both maps, present their own unique challenges for the teams. It seems that because we're not at our full 20 teams, that maybe the teams will be a little bit more spread out and the fights might take a little bit longer to pick up. But, honestly, when it gets to that last circle, it doesn't really matter what map you're on. Everybody just ends up killing each other.
Absolutely. And I am curious to see how many teams will be going into the final circle here today, as quite the trend right now is that a lot of teams are just getting steamrolled by these higher level players, but we are coming into the finals of this. Okay. So looking into scores and just looking into how these teams have been performing, let's just look at the top 10 right now. So in 10th place, we have Junita College with 54 points, RMC, AWPE, OC Esports, ASE Apex Royal, Maverick Apex Gold, Purdue Apex, and then for your top 3 and the points for them, GFU Apex Varsity at 281 points, UB Apex Varsity at 287 points, and Vandals Apex Varsity at 323 points.
Wow.
Quite a drastic change when you look at the numbers 1 through 5. And then we have the numbers from 19 to 11 here.
Yeah, so at 19th place, we've got SUNY Canton, WSC Apex Academy, SPU Peacocks, UMT, Mustangs, BPC, King's College, EKU Maroon, and SAU, all sitting around 50 points or below. We can see there's quite the diaspora between these lower 19 teams and then the teams in the top 10, and especially within the top 5.
Yeah, it's crazy to see just how dominating a team can be, and just shows how much that work pays off, and that kind of synergy that goes into a team. I mean, it really, really is really entertaining to watch, and how telling it is to show just which teams know when to dominate, know when to just hold down the W key, and which teams know, all right, now it's time to take it back a little bit. Teams aren't going to be as easy as they were before. So I'm really interested to see how we load up as we are looking at our first map, World's Edge.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing to see how some of these teams will pull ahead so far. Like, I know, the Vandals have got about 40 points ahead of second place, and then we've also got Southern Miss, not in this group, but also a dominator within this league. And, they're both towering above their competition. But that doesn't mean that they're going to win every game and that they're going to top frag every game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Southern Miss, not in today's rotation, but like you said, it is a team to look at. Just watching how dominating they play with that Pathfinder, And I really want to see what the comps look like because I still believe we're in the season of the tournament where we can have creative comps and still have these high effort and high voltage games rather than, watching, watching ALGS or BLGS and seeing all the same comps over and over again.
Yeah.
In these lower tournaments, you can see a lot more creativity. And we move on to the fly cam here. We get to see how these people are going to figure out where they're going to be landing.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the map here. So it looks like everybody's kind of jumping in the same spot, but I'm sure we'll see everybody spread out across the map. It's usually how it goes. We don't really see a whole lot of fights going on in the early game, but that's not to say that one can't happen. I mean, looking at the bottom right corner of the map now, we see a bunch of teams piling up. I wonder if any fights will come out of there.
It does look like, so we are looking at Purdue Apex, who are down one for today, unfortunately. However, I am interested to see, looking at like the congestion of players here, it is interesting to see how these first engagements will go, how these players are going to, rotate and look for their evos. I think the loot rotations, especially in these higher elo games, is going to be very, very important to get that upper edge. But at the same time, all it comes down to is who's the better player and how are you going to aim better and are you going to position better? Because God spots and all that can be a major turn in the way that these games go. And it does look like Red Dragon is going to be looking at his opposing team, looking on the other side here. Might not take the engagement just yet. Still trying to figure out what he wants to grab. Is he going to grab the Hemlock? Is he going to grab the RE45?
Yeah, so it doesn't really look like we've got too much going on. Purdue is surrounded by many players, but we don't really see them taking any engages yet. It's still a little bit too early with the kits that they've got. All it takes is a couple of stray bullets with this lack of shield, and their team is gone. Especially being down one, they're definitely going to be on the defensive.
Absolutely, but it's interesting that you mentioned being on the defensive with this Watson player and those fences. But at the same time, you also have the Octane in this team or team composition as well. I mean, I think that's very interesting. You have a character that's primarily very, very defensive oriented, and then you have another one who's very offensive and very engagement heavy. Interesting to see that kind of confidence coming out of Purdue University. However, the points do speak for themselves. I mean, they do have a lot of points up there in I believe the top 5.
Yeah, I believe they're number 4.
Number 4, exactly, and they're still coming in here thinking, having that level of confidence. I do feel like it's very important. Especially being a man down. Speaks to the level of mental that these characters might have. Going into EKU Maroon here, going to have the Bangalore Smokes, and his teammates are going to go down. It's going to be it looks like it might be a 1 versus 2 engagement, not be able to hit the lands, and they will be knocked out by SPU Peacocks, and it was actually a 1v1, and SPU Peacock is going to be eliminated off the side, and I mean, that's just the game. It's a game of third parties, so very unfortunate, but very interesting to see them watch BCP Apex just lie in wait for them to get that wingman shot, and then boom, over.
I mean, it looks like even now BPC is taking some fire from somebody else. And so, especially when you get all these teams in the same crowded area, it just becomes who can become the last third party to kill the teams that have been fighting.
Absolutely. And I know I wanted more teams in the final storm, but we're already down to 13 teams. I mean, 6 teams have been eliminated already in this northwestern part of the map. Unfortunate, but at the same time, I don't think anyone's here to have fun. I think they're just here to win, get those points, get that KP, and, just GG go next. We do have 3 more maps after this, so it's going to be very interesting to see how these players go in here. And look at that Hylar down there.
Yeah, very similar names. I was the first, though. I will claim that. But, yeah, I mean, you can see here we just got a bunch of guys sitting in the buildings trying not to die. AWPE, they seem to perform pretty solid all around the board. Nothing, nothing to write home about, but definitely not sitting at the very bottom either. It looks like they're going to go for some sort of third-party pick between the team that is also in the building and any of the other teams that might be around here as well.
Yeah, and Johan Ni does get a knock onto Kylar here, and they might chase with this evac tower, but I'm not too sure if they're going to be able to get the finish. It does look like they're going to be up in shields and up in utility, as they're going to be up 1 person. Yeah, the fuse is just very, very oppressive, especially when you have a lot of teams who like to cap in corners. very, very safe character to use. The chase here is going to be very interesting to watch as AWPE Apex is going to try to pick up some more KP. Might look like they might be pinching them into that other team. Like we were saying earlier, Purdue is also lurking around this area with the Watson and with the Octane, so I'm very interested to see how that's going to happen. Wizard 27 does get knocked with the Nemesis here, and they're going to pop the ult for the res here. It does look like they're going to get shot from above just to get finished. I believe that the... excuse me. It looks like the Conduit did pop ult in order to get it down a little bit. Antics is putting down a little bit of cover fire here with the Nemesis here. No one's really taking any turns, really low on health. But AWP is going to split up here, reshield, probably get themselves together, and then we'll see if there's another engagement here soon.
Yeah, I mean, AWP is really getting pushed into a corner right now up against that mountain. Sino's got like a perfect shot right there on Quiet Storm, and so it's forcing them to retreat at this point. And I think at this late in the season, many teams are probably trying to get their points up as much as possible to get any sort of edge that they still can get. And so I think we'll see more skillful play from players.
Absolutely, and it does look like Antics get shot from the left side as they were trying to engage on here. And as we see, GFU is going to be responsible for that as Xenoplays is going to come hard flanking from the left here. Purple shields up already.
Wow.
Very interesting to see. I wonder what they had to do in order to get that kind of Evo shields out, but I mean, it's just going to be very scary. We're going to take a look over here at UB Apex Varsity, again with the purple shields here. Just trying to play it slow. They do have 2 kills in the bag. That's some pretty good KP. And maybe just trying to feel it out, see where they're going. Hemlock, EVA 8. Very impressive combo, if I do say so myself. I personally don't run the EVA 8. I am doo-doo water with the shotguns in Apex. I prefer the SMGs and the ARs, but maybe that's why I'm hard stuck silver.
It could be, we'll never know. As we get into the last 10 squads here, we can see UB popping a kill right there. Looks like they're trying to catch any stragglers coming in as the storm moves them in closer.
Absolutely, and I'm curious if they're going to hit this. They are going to hit this storm ring. Good thing to have with that person. They shoot a smoke just in case. You never know who could be watching. We're going to go take a look at where everybody is right now. So interesting to see how everybody went from the northwestern part and then going down to the northern parts. A lot of congestion over there. But I am interested to see if things are going to start moving up into the north. Excuse me, it's going to be the southeast part. Excuse me, I got my coordinates completely wrong. Southeast. Now we're in the northwest. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a huge buildup of teams in both, like you were saying, the northwestern and the southern parts of the map. It looks like we're going to be getting likely 2 pretty big team fights, and then the winners of that will probably move into our final circle.
Absolutely, yeah. And it did look like near the bottom there's about 4 teams there, and then the top right I think there was like 3 or 4. So very interested to see whoever comes out in that top left of the map is going to have the best chances of winning, given their rotations and given that they don't really need to move. But OC Eagles isn't going anywhere until they can get this team out of either get them out or rotate out safely. But I mean, if they know that they have the numbers advantage, I mean, why not? But as we saw before, one team did have the numbers advantage, and so easily that numbers advantage was taken away. The Covenant, is going to ult here. Trying to see if he can find himself any picks, but the storm is going to be moving, and they are on the far side, so that thing is going to be moving hella quickly. Bangalore ultimate on the edge, as well as, man, I am forgetting names left and right here. Newcastle. Newcastle is going to ult. Opens the door here, pops in an Arc Star, but doesn't do anything with it. Shield's going to be going up here pretty soon, and just going to pop that evac tower. Maybe hit the shield battery real quick so they don't take too much damage as they leave. The other team is also going to be taking an evac tower. It does look like the Rev does want to deny their exit here. Throws a grenade right before hitting his Q. Going to hit that evac tower, taking a look at it, scanning this, and then going to be flying out to safety.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I see what he was going for there with that play, but it really unfortunate that nothing ended up coming of it. The team in the building there really did not want to leave.
Absolutely, yeah. But, I mean, the way that I see it, first team to get out has the bigger advantage, especially knowing that you can hold them out of storm for that long.
Yeah.
And looks like we're going to be looking at a 3 or 4 team play here. GFU is just running circles around these teams here, catching out Shy Kami out in the open, possibly get the kill. Kill is, I don't know who took that kill, might have been OCO, but again, GFU is in a good position here. All three of them have purple shields. That Evil's going to go very well here. Zeno does get very low, but also breaks his shield onto Willian.
Yeah, I mean, the George Fox is really in a precarious position here because although they do have that building, they are on a lower ground than the people on the mountain.
Absolutely, and we see the chase here onto TMPDX. He is going to get knocked by Lazy Kapu. And not able to get the finish just yet. That means that there is chance for GFU to try and get the res here. But it does look like they're going to take it easy. They get the knock. They know they're going to be playing a little bit safe. UB Apex is going to be looting up a little bit, resettling themselves. It looks like they might want to take this what is it called? This zip line here to get the better positioning. And then we have Profitable Merchant out into the zone, most likely looking to craft their teammate's banner. But it does look like he's going to take a lot of storm damage due to it being the third ring already. I have faith that he might be able to do it. Curious to see if he's going to get both of them or just one. Is only able to get the one because Xenoplays is not dead just yet, so it is unfortunate that they are not able to craft that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how Profitable Merchant there comes out of the storm, probably very low. And we're looking now at another angle here of this 3 or 4 team fight going on in this little area here. Looks like 2 of the teams are basically on top of each other. Doesn't look like they're fighting each other, though. Looks like they're shooting at the teams on the other side of the area.
Yeah, it does look like the team underneath the bridge does have a little bit of a better position into looking at other teams. It also means that other teams are looking onto them. However, that does eliminate the team on top of them looking at them exactly. Looking at Maverick Gold here, all reds, fully maxed out Evos. I'm really interested to see how they got here. I love the Valkyrie, I love the Bangalore, and I love the Rampart here. Rampart is such an oppressive character, especially in comps like this where you're able to just sit down and have fun. Or not have fun, just sit down and be able to just shoot from cover, get that amplified shield.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, the team comps seem to be pretty varied, although we do see some familiar faces coming up over and over again. We do see a lot of the champions available, if not all of them represented at some point.
Right, and surprising to see no one's been really playing the new character. I don't remember their name exactly, but I know that they are a very fun character, especially if you like to do these heavy engages but want a safe option. Their ult does allow you to teleport back to a certain place if you feel like you might have misgauged your engagement here. But I mean, the way that Maverick Gold's looking here, they're sitting kind of pretty. They got ultimates online, cooldowns ready. Does look like they're gonna have an abundance of materials to use here. Mustang Esports is gonna be bunkered down here with the Catalyst and with the Pathfinder. Gonna take a couple of pop shots, but still get punished for that. And we have Sino and Antics here. Looks like they were able to get the res onto their teammate who got killed earlier in the game, but that's the advantages of a game like this. And then we have Camper Cam.
Oh my gosh, this guy. Yeah, I mean, he's looking like he's in a pretty good spot. His teammates are dead, and it doesn't look like there's anything he's going to be able to do about that.
I mean, so something that he can do as a support legend is that if his teammates' banners do run out, you see there how it's saying like recover banner.
Yeah.
Because he is a support legend, he is able to craft the banners of his teammates, which looks like he's going to do right here, and then he's going to be able to respawn them right next to him. Hopefully he does not get punished for this. Doesn't look like there's anybody close enough to punish it. Gonna go down here, throw down that Q and just res his teammates. Boxes look like they're nearby. Maybe reloot here. That is going to give him max Evo, that red shield. That is going to be very, very important later on in the game. And then he's going to be able, and then just looking at how he's going to, how they're going to recuperate this, how they're going to bring it back. I do think that it is winnable. They're going to be a little bit of a disadvantage here, but I do believe that they're going to have a better time than most teams out there with just one person.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't know if you caught that, but GFU was unfortunately eliminated.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. As we look here, we see the team join together again, putting UB, I believe, definitely back on the roster to be a possible winner of this round.
Absolutely, and I like to see that this, I mean, that's just RNG at its finest. This care package at launch are landed right in front of them as they're coming out of the storm. And I mean, a little disheartening that my boys weren't able to pull it through this game, but knowing them and knowing their tenacity and the resilience are going to have a better showing later on. I hope I don't cast your curse, knock on wood, knock on wood. But yeah, moving forward, not that many teams left, and it is, I believe we're going into the 4th circle now.
Yeah.
Going into 5th, which means that we will have, I think, 1 more circle until final.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 5 squads left, and with the size of the circle, I'm honestly surprised we still have 5 left. I mean, that's up to 15 people. And it looks like the circle is definitely getting smaller here. We see Maverick is still posted up as they have been, but it looks like they are going to pop out to possibly look for some engages, leaving the building that they were in. And so, yeah, I'll see if Maverick seems to come out here.
Oh, big knocks here coming onto the side of the team that just came out of the storm. They are going to get 2 knocks, and those look like they might lose one of their own, but I do believe that it is going to be Resable. Yep, like that. It's going to be Resable, and unfortunate for that last person who needed to get out there. But, you know, like I said before, and then we have this engagement over here on the left. Maverick is going to be engaging with those Arc Stars and with that higher Evo. What can the other team do but scatter like roaches and trying to see if they can find the pick in between? Chili Noon is on the verge of life, going to get knocked down with that, I forget the name of that gun, and then it does look like the last person on their team is just going to fall over like dominoes.
Yeah.
And we are going to leave ourselves in what looks like to be a top 3 situation, top 4 situation. The other team back there, Sino and Antics, just hiding down there. Nothing wrong with that, but it does look like Maverick Gold is going to be stationed up into this little bunker here. I mean, and that's just what Rampart does. Puts on those cues, and there's not much you can really do about it. Bengal does go on top of the building, but because they have that pressure, they are not going to be able to, you know, capitalize on any of the damage.
No, yeah, that last battle was really unfortunate for the other team. There was nothing really they could do against the full assault from Maverick there.
Absolutely, and it does look like UB Apex University is going to get a finish on this other team, which does make it a 3v3v2, and it does look like they have their sights set on the 2 who are in their left over there. Maybe they know that it's only 2 of them left. Maybe they just want to ape one team and hopefully get that's enough KP for them to get it. It does look like BCP is going to be eliminated due to their lack of positioning, and they're just going to get knocked out there immediately. It's going to be a 1v1 situation with UB Apex versus Maverick Gold, and UB Apex looks like they're going to be pushed here by this Bangalore Ultimate. Interesting to see how well they're going to respond to this. A lot of ultimates coming out here. Going to have the Pathfinder having that zip line go very short distance, but I do believe that there was a purpose for it. We're going to see another Bang ult come onto the side of this other team here. Rampart shields going down, trying to block as much damage as possible here. We also have that Rampart ult out, but it does look like that Bangalore, Zach's Nation, is going to be very low and actually gets down by the Rolling Thunder. Does pull out the ultimate on the Rampart, but he does not have the positioning to really capitalize on it. They know he's low, they know he has white shields, and UP Apex is going to take the first map of today's tournament, and you know, it was just a good showing. Unfortunate that Bangalore did go down at the time they went down, and then they were able to get the flank with that Pathfinder, and by then it was Raps. Once you knew that the shields were broken, there's not much you can do, especially in a Rolling Thunder.
Yeah. I mean, I really thought that Maverick was going to be better defended than that, considering how posted up they'd been the entire game. But, you know, when it came to that at the end there was just, yeah, like you said, nothing they could do.
I mean, it's just going into I think it's a disadvantage of going into open space like that. Like, it's very much, like, cover dependent.
Right.
Especially having, like, unbreakable cover on top of you.
Yep.
But once you take that away because of the storm, it's kind of hard to utilize all of Rampart's kit. Let's go into the replays and see how this went down.
First up here, looks like that was an unfortunate fortunate death. And so, yeah, looking here, looks like we've got UB, our winners here, engaging in this building against George Fox. And George Fox does actually happen to get away there. Maverick Gold, seeing them posted up in their building. And then this is the final battle here. We can see UB just absolutely spraying down Maverick, and they're trying to post up as best as they can, put up their defenses, but there's really only so much that they can do. They were able to grab one there, but unfortunately it was not enough, and that ult was not able to get utilized the way that they wanted it to. And then, yeah, UB ended up taking the win. And, you know, honestly, that was a very well-played end of game there. UB, they stood their ground, and it worked out for them really well.
And not to take away from the hard-fought battle of those teams, however, we are going to redo map 1 as there was a technical difficulty on one of the team sides. So, unfortunately, that map technically means nothing. Warm-up game.
Yeah.
Pretty much a warm-up game. Maybe they're trying to feel out the other team, see how that's going to go. But unfortunately, or fortunately, we get to watch more Apex.
Yeah.
So we are going to redo map 1 and see how that takes us. And we will be right back after this. You know what? Keep talking. Let's keep talking.
Oh, yeah, you know, honestly, I think after this, UB is definitely going to be the team that is in the other players' heads. Because after they were able to hold their ground so strongly against Maverick, who seemed to be really ahead. I know they had their red shields pretty early.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that didn't stop UB from absolutely destroying them there at the end, even though they were down somebody.
Yeah, and I think that something they can take away from that is they saw how many people landed on the southeastern part, bottom right, southeastern parts of the map. Maybe that'll encourage other players, spread out a little bit and play a little bit more passively here. Maybe we can see a little bit wider spread of the players over the entire map, utilize all of the nice little nicks and tricks that Stormpoint, World's Edge has to offer.
Yeah, World's Edge.
Yeah, World's Edge has to offer, so I'm very interested to see if there's going to be any advancement other than that. Yeah.
So as we go in here, we're going to, like Saucy had said, we're going to be redoing game 1 here. I think if people spread out a bit more, it would definitely allow for them to have a more equal chance of getting that Evo and everybody being able to stay alive for a little bit longer instead of having, like we did, a bunch of teams sitting in one building and then, somebody comes in, kills them all, and then we're just down to minimal squads left, but within a pretty large circle.
Absolutely, yeah. And something to show, like, in context speaking, around, like, the finals, like, near the end, you have, like, 10 to 12 teams at least in that final circle. Yeah. And I kind of want to see a little bit more of that. I understand that, maybe these players probably aren't on the same skill set and, doesn't really allow them to have that many teams in the final circle. But you see the playstyle changes as soon as this map starts, as soon as they land, they are out for kills and they're very thirsty. Something that changes, though, is that near the end of the game, see them bunkering down a little bit more, playing a little bit safer, having, or you're scattering around, struggling a little bit. But something that we see a lot, like we said before, it was BSU,
BPC?
No, the team last time.
I don't remember.
The Pathfinder team, the really, really good team.
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss, that's who I was referring to. They just W-key the entire game.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering to see if that playstyle is going to pursue itself later on into the season, like maybe around the quarterfinals or the semifinals or even the finals. Yeah. If they're still going to keep up that kind of playstyle, or if they're going to respect these other players and show them, or at least have these other players show them, hey, you can't just run around like that. We're going to show you that you're not all that. Yeah. Not to say anything right about Southern Miss. They're a very, very very good team. Yeah. Very well put together. But it's interesting. I want to see a little bit more of a slower play style as we get into the finals. As I don't want them to get knocked out too early.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I think it's all going to come down to if there are any other teams who are able to have the aim as well as the teamwork that Southern Miss seems to have. Because they're only able to do this aggressive strategy because they've got the aim and they've got the communication to where they can just all come in at once and end up just wiping a team. And so we'll see if any other team has the ability to put them in their place or if they'll be able to continue just rushing in and being aggressive for the rest of the season. But only time will tell. Absolutely. We've still got plenty of games left for this season.
Absolutely. And I am excited to see how we are going to go back into map 1 again. Technically map 1, so after this we still have 3 more games. And we want to see... So like we said before, I am rooting for my boys over at GFU. And you are rooting for...
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm thinking that Maverick Gold is gonna come back for this one. I know I was talking about Purdue, and Purdue, I still think that they're gonna do very strong. But after seeing the performance of last game, it's definitely harder to tell. But yeah, between Purdue and between Maverick Gold, those guys are the ones I'm gonna be looking at.
I'm still looking at my boys over at GFU. Those are my dogs. But very interested to see how they are going to adapt after this, after the last map. So
yeah, I mean, really, I know that George Fox has, they've got really great communication, it seems. I saw when they were getting engaged, they still had the ability to still come together and get away without losing any stragglers, which I think was impressive. Last game, they were able to survive pretty late into the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game, is survival. It is a, it's a battle royale at the end of the game, but I want to see more of it. And like I said, they learn from each other. They learn not all to clump up into the same spot, and now we see a more utilization of the map as these teams are more spread out. That's what we like to see. More fun, a little bit more Apex, and I like the positioning here. GFU is very consistent with that overlook drop. They love landing there, love looting there. They have really good loot rotations. And we are going to go over to the big mod, or Mirage's ship, Mirage Etoile. UP Apex University is going to get the shield break onto the Watson here. And then they're just going to see and feel themselves out, feel how the other team's going to engage. Maybe they're going to ape on this, knowing that there's more numbers here, and then to drop down. UP Apex University is going to, be the aggressors here against Purdue.
Yeah, I mean, they do definitely have that cushion of getting the kills and getting the win last game. That allows them to be a little bit more aggressive. Although we do see now that Purdue does have their third.
Yep.
Last game, that might have been maybe a technical difficulty they were having, that they couldn't get that third man in there. But now it seems like they're in the game just as much as everybody else is.
Absolutely, and we love to see that over at Purdue University, as they were, they're a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I like the way Purdue University, and they are one of your top picks.
Yeah.
So seeing them at their full potential is going to be very valuable here going to this game. And it looks like they are unable to... I mean, they're looking at somebody who does get a crack onto a Gibraltar here. Admiral Macron is going to get that crack, and an unfortunate, crack onto the Gibby, but... seeing them just take a little bit of that damage and then make another rotation out. And interesting to see that Ren Dragon is now on the Watson, but Saknam, I'm pretty sure he was the Octane last game, and now he's the Bangalore.
I think actually Saknam is new to the team. He's the third guy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Ren Dragon and the other guy.
Oh, the other guy was the Octane, but
yes.
Okay. So maybe they do a little bit of trolling.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm really enjoying these Pathfinder team comps. They're really fun.
You like just Spider-Manning around the map. Give you a little bit of that Halo Infinite vibe with the gravel hook. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, I'm a Pathfinder, but let's take a look at the mega map here just to see where all these teams have rotated, how many teams have been knocked out here. It does look like there are still... Yeah, there we go. Does look like we are going to have a good amount of teams still left over. Does look like there's going to be a little bit of fighting over by Lava Siphon. And a lot of teams have not rotated completely out yet, but as we look into this, we're just going to be, cruising. We're allowing the teams to set up, like we said before, hit their loot rotations, get that Evo shield, and then be able to take these team engagements a little bit more confidently than, just landing and then everything's a brawl and then a camping party, and then now you got to rotate all the way across the map.
Right. Yeah. And it's not fun to watch, or I'm assuming play, when teams get eliminated really early, simply because they don't have the loot and they don't have the ability to get themselves out of those sticky situations in the beginning. You know, I'd rather see the teams have a fight at their full potential.
Right, and RMC Apex, those look like they're going to be a little bit of a pickle here. The Valkyrie does get knocked here. They're going to, and the other team does pop the Conduit ult, so it does look like there's going to be a little bit of an engagement there. Maybe they're going to back off. OC Eagles and Junita College are very close to each other here, so I'm interested to see if they're going to be able, or if there's going to be an engagement here, or if they're just going to back off and chill out. We're going to go back over here to the other team. It is going to be a 2v3 situation. Two of them do have white shields, though, so it could be a little bit of an advantage onto the other team. Conduit Ultimate is going to be kind of like a stopper here, stopping them from rotating and engaging out. Draken is going to take a lot of damage before he pops his smoke out. And it does look like the third who got dropped there, Valkyrie, is going to be completely finished, giving a little bit of KP onto this team, and they're going to just rotate out and, you know, get out with what they can. Maybe they have that Recon Legend who's able to get it out. GFU Apex is going to be in a little bit of a pickle here, as Xenoplays is going to be a little bit low, but you know, Tien is going to be very aggressive here, pushing up, trying to make room for his team. Looking at this other team trying to rotate out. Interesting that they don't try to ape on this. It's a little bit more of a stabilization game, trying to see where they're at right now, trying to, you know, play it slow, see what's going on. It is going to be around 4 kills onto the side of GFU, which I really like. Keep on going, boys. I like seeing what we're doing here. Big, massive shots are going to land onto the one on top of PDX, but he is going to get aped by 2 other players. Xenoplays is going to be right next to him. Sees that the other one is on Flesh, and Vandal's Varsity is going to be eliminated through that engagement, and the res on Tien is coming up now.
Wow. Yeah, interesting play there to see how the Vandals are eliminated. I know they're our top scorer right now, so seeing them out so early is definitely interesting.
Absolutely. And we have Purdue versus SUE Apex here. An interesting fight going on over there. Their teams with very similar shield, but, you know, very different team comps, I would say. The only thing they have in common is really the Watson. Other than that, and the Conduit, my fault. But I mean, Conduit does go down onto the side of the other team, and I am curious to see how they're going to ape this, if at all. I don't see any harm in trying to fully engage on this team, as they are stuck in a corner with those Watson Qs going to get knocked down, and SAU Apex is out for the count, with Purdue finishing them off.
Yeah, I mean, just really solid plays by Purdue. They didn't rush in until they knew they could take it, and you know, clean, crisp aim, just, you know, getting their business done, and that's the kind of plays I like to see.
Yeah, very, very clean engages here is, you know, the name of the game. But also, too, I mean, as soon as it is a, you know, a bit of a confidence game, as you see that first character or that first teammate, as soon as you get them knocked, you know that that is an essential component, and no matter what team comp that you're running, that character or that legend provides value. And the second that you get knocked, that gives the other team a hell of a lot more of confidence when engaging on you. So I'm really interested in seeing how, I didn't even know that this was a thing. You can Pathfinder zipline onto an evac tower. That's crazy.
That's funny.
Oh, we have a big ol' cluster of teams here. I counted 4. There might be a 5th off screen though. Is this where Final Storm is gonna end up, or is this just where a lot of people got caught out in the end? We can see Fuexo on the Newcastle there in the bottom left, and we can see some people still on white shields this late into the game, taking a lot of this natural cover over here in the buildings. I mean, not much you can really do about it. Doesn't look like there's a lot of characters who can engage on this, and if you were to engage on this, who's to say you're going to get out unscathed? Other teams know that, and they're just going to ape on you the second you finish that engagement.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. One thing that I think this map provides is a lot of that natural cover, like you were saying. So teams, I really think that they're more interested in just sitting behind and trying to get any third-party picks that they can, rather than just aping, because they know that they have places to retreat to.
Derpy Ninja Frog with a thread of hell, barely holding on to it. Does seem like he is going to pop a Phoenix kit here, as he did not look like to have health for a little bit. So it does look like they're going to catch somebody out in the open here. It's going to be a Bloodhound. Going to be broken here. Maverick Gold in with another engagement here. Interesting he didn't stand to the high ground there. Maybe knew that EQU was very low here. Maroon is going to be just one, and it does look like the Gibraltar is going to try and get out here. Perhaps hit that crafting box and then getting out here. But it does not look like that is going to be the case. It does look like another team is going to be here, as that Fuse is going to try and get some ultimate Pathfinder shots, are going to, you know, slow down their engagement a little bit. Maverick Gold is going to try and take that high ground away from AWPE Apex. And looks like here we're just going to have a bunch of ults coming down here, as we have the Bangalore ultimate on. I don't know who threw that, but there to slow down the engagement a little bit, maybe have some people re-shield up, have some time here. But Grey Matter is going to get shield broken, so is Fuego, and UB Apex is going to just pinch this team off and not allow them to try and get themselves down. It does look like one of their teammates does get knocked. Pathfinder is going to go up, and UB Apex is going to be the winner of that engagement, knocking out Maverick Gold and Purdue University in one fell swoop.
Wow, that was a great play by UB. You could tell there they were definitely holding off on engaging in there until they knew that they could get the enemies while they were already lower on health and while their focus was already on another team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that Bangalore ultimate was extremely, extremely powerful, especially in this situation. It does look like RMC Apex is going to be holding out another team from Storm, but they themselves might get caught around the end of it. And I do believe that another team might be around this corner waiting for them. Yeah, right here we have the another team with the Revenant, RE45 out onto the side of Hellroids here. Maybe try to hit this disengage on the other side. Does not have any shield, and cannot seem to find where Draken is in this situation.
The enemy is there to jump right on top of him. That, yeah, that's got to be a shock, especially right here on the edge of the storm. That's definitely an interesting play, but I think it's working out well for them.
Right, and I saw this Careless Crow wanted to go for that engagement. Is not going to go for this finisher so he can get his shield back. As the last member of RMC is going to just disengage and get out of there. They do have a Mirage on their team, might be able to craft them on the way out, but I do not know if there's going to be any crafters or respawn beacons inside the storm. But you know, that's not up for us to decide. We're going to see if the Valkyrie can take this one and clutch it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the first time that we've seen a solo come out and do something amazing, even if they're unable to get their teammates back. I mean, we've seen whole teams consisting of just one person and they end up doing really well. So we'll see here if the remaining member of RMC is able to do anything substantial.
They were able to get the craft off. We were able to see the end animation of that. It's now the question of, are they able to find a safe respawn beacon to get their team back for this re-engage. And it does look like GFU is going to be out here onto Lava Fisher, trying to see where this other team is at. Lieutenant Godfather, very, very low on health, was able to pop the shield bat, and now we're going to be able to see if this team is going to survive out there or if they're going to be out. UB Apex is going to be zipping up onto this building as well, checking it out, seeing if there's anybody camping inside here. There's nobody, but this is around where GFU is going to be out as well. And it does look like Valkyrie from that team is able to get the res off onto her teammates, and I think they're just going to disengage here. Unfortunate for Hellroids to get knocked or to get fully killed there, but his teammates are coming down from the sky. Interesting to see where they're going to land. Krabby Patty in the hands of one of the players onto gold, and there's going to be 2 knocks on courtesy of Xenoplays and from Chili Newton onto RMC, and now it's the Bangalore hiding. Draken is now their last hope. Unfortunate, as he has no attachments, very little ammo, and very little health.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Draken here, and if anything right now, he's just camping underneath this structure here, looking for any poor soul who might wander over there.
Absolutely, and you know what we call this, right?
Camper camp.
Camper camp. Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Jerry, for that soundboard. Anyways, we are now. Hey, look at this. 10 teams in the final, near the final circle. It's what I love to see, especially in these high caliber Apex games, as we are going to be gifted with another camper cam here as we get an eye onto Draken as he tries to maneuver his way. It does look like he might have been heard from this team right above him. Lieutenant Godfather might take the shots here. He does. And is he going to be able to get out? He does, with just his shield cracked, which is very impressive. Now he's just going to wait it out, see where he's going to go. I'm surprised that Leming, their Valkyrie, hasn't hasn't completely died yet. Maybe they just haven't been able to find the body. Maybe they're just leaving him alive so that he's not able to craft. But you know, very interesting here. Juniata is going to be, you know, just stashed up here, very, very strong. Shy Kami looks like it might have red shields. I think that might be the controller buff as they are in the final circle. RMC Draken is just going to play his time here. Looks like we have another camper down there, Gup Gup, just waiting his turn, maybe trying to see if he can get himself to, you know, get engaged on here. But GFU is just holding this center pillar like it's their livelihood, not letting anybody contest them and seeing anybody who peeks out even for a second to know to punish them. And the fuse shots here are looking very good. I myself am a fuse main, so I do like having that like level of safeness. Big team fight over here. We're gonna have the Catalyst ult along with the Pathfinder going into the Bangalore. It looks like one team is going to be going out. Kyler does get knocked here, as well as his teammate Antix is the last person as part of this 3-stack. It does look like this Lazy Kapu and his teammates are going to try and get it as well. He's going to try to rotate under the Storm. And once again, he's just going to be all by his lonesome. Once again, another camper in today's tournament. But interesting to see where it goes. Sheila is going to try and get that final kill onto Cuffy. And AP Apex University is going to continue raining down fire on these poor souls.
Yeah, I mean, we can see UB here, our champions last time, looking like they're going to just ape against this team here. And, you know, it's a great thing to see, you know, just that pure confidence from that team. It doesn't look like they're completely dominating yet.
Absolutely. Like this Sheila is keeping them at bay for a little while, but Sheila only has so much ammo. Now they're just going to look over at this Conduit and this other person onto the side, and unfortunately he does get knocked. GFU Apex does see the advantage here of looking at that team, and they know that one of them is still stuck on near them, but do they know that they have this Kraber in hand, or are they just going to have them hold him down, not give him an ability to shoot? Is going to pop that that ultimate charge, and looking really, really solid here, getting that knock onto its full, going to ape on it as soon as they can, knowing that they don't have anybody else who can you know, contest them at this point in time. Looking very strong here from GFU, and looks like UB might be taking a little bit of a step back as they do have one more person that they need to fight here. GFU not giving them the opportunity to breathe, not even a little bit. Trying to hit the smoke here onto Profitable Merchant to try and get rid of his line of sight. Doesn't look like it was working, but they were able to move out, and Antix is going to be the last one standing on his team in that little corner. They are taking that zip line onto Profitable Merchant. Does pop the fuse ult, trying to get into cover. Tien does use his Newcastle ultimate. They both do get knocked down, unfortunately, and it is going to be a team fight win on the side of UB Apex if they can get this last person down.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking great for George Fox after that engage. I mean, it looked like they were in the middle of two teams, or at least in the line of sight of two teams that were there, meaning that if one team didn't engage, probably the other team would have. Not a great spot. I mean, that high point that they had was a great spot, but you can only stay in places like that for so long.
Camper Cam?
Oh, Camper Cam.
I love Camper Cam. Name of the game, have fun, but also, you know when to just, stick in your little corner. We also have another camper, Xeno Plays, on the side of GFU, just waiting his turn, waiting to, try to make his point here. But it does look like it is going to be 5 teams left. It's going to be a full squad. Junita just gets knocked, but interesting to see where this is going to go, as Final Circle is not in an advantageous spot for anybody, unfortunately. Fuexo almost rolling himself out of Storm, saves it a little bit. They do see him. They do see these two characters over here being like, we see you. Oh, we see you. What are you going to do about it? Sentinel hard locked onto that door. They do open the door here. They look like they are just going to ape in here. I don't think they know where that last person is, as one of them is going to get knocked. And, oh, never mind. OC Eagles does get eliminated, but however, it was at the cost of 2 knocks. But unfortunately, I don't think there's anybody here who can really contest EQ Maroon, unless you are a Gibraltar waiting and lying in wait. But unfortunately, he does get turned on. Unfortunate situation for this team. They are going to be able to get barely into Storm here right before it closes. And do I just see... Is it a 3v1v1 situation here? Xeno Xenoplays and Attic so close together, but so far away at the same time. Holding that crouch key, knowing that you can't do anything other than place second. So it is a question of who is going to be found first, who is going to make second place, or who's going to make third place. It does look like it is going to be BCP Apex is going to make third place, and GFU is going to run away. It is a 2v1 situation, though, completely winnable for the side of GFU. Xenoplays does knock down Zox. Oh, I'm so flustered right now. I really want this to play out properly. Super low shields does get the shield crack onto Xenoplays. Lazy Kapu, knowing that he's at a health advantage, does take this fight, and he is going to get the win. However, the KP on the side of GFU, as well as second place, isn't bad, but again, we have to give it to that other team for making it into the top one.
Yeah, I mean, great play from UB. Definitely George Fox coming back there, having the camper there, but also not just floundering.
Yeah.
Getting that second place, I think, is going to be really good for George Fox. Really great for their numbers.
As well as getting that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
also getting that KP onto the person who pushed him, knowing that he needed to finish in order to just get that little sliver of extra points.
Yeah.
But as we know, placement points are a lot of what, goes towards your ranking today or at least this day and age of Apex. But I mean, going back to the replays, I really want to see how this match progressed here, especially with this Maverick Gold fight. I mean, it was just back-to-back knocks and elims here. OC Eagles doing a lot here with the elimination and just that chase onto the Valkyrie.
And then, UB coming in here. Looks like they're just able to chase. George Fox being able to pull off some kills there from up top in that vantage point they had. And then the final kill here, where unfortunately George Fox was not able to come back from that, and UB ended up taking the victory for, I guess this was the first real game.
Yeah, this was the first map, but I mean, a lot better showing from GFU. A beautiful win from the side of UB Apex.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how they weren't able to get that second res off. Not to knock them, I just wanted to know. It did look like they have the time, maybe they didn't, but not being able to have that second or that third teammate in there might have thrown them in for a little bit of a loop. Maybe they weren't expecting to go into the final circle with only 2 left, so it was a 2v1v1 in the top 3. But I mean, they pulled it out in the end. So
they did, and that's just something that we're gonna have to give them. I mean, that takes skill in order to pull that off. Being not in your prime and not having that third teammate and still being able to do what they did is very impressive.
And I think they were a little bit weak coming out of that engagement with those two teams, as they had 2 people on one team and then that Gibraltar just hiding with the alternator in the corner. But I mean, in the end, they were able to turn it around. Looked like he was very close to hitting that third party, but he had more shield, he had a shotgun, so it was a little bit unfortunate. It does get the res off and then goes into the final fight. So
yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do in scenarios like that.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So the boys, they do what they could. And I think, I think they did a great job. It was great seeing that final circle there, or one of the final circles, having 10 squads still left. That was a very, very welcome point in there. We had quite a few teams in the last section of the game.
Absolutely. And then we are going to, so after this, we're going to have more Apex Legends, but we will see you in a little bit. Chase me back. And we are back. Welcome as we are going to start the next map here into our Apex Tournament map 2 out of 4. We are back. I'm Saucy.
I'm Kyler.
We're well caffeinated and we are going to go into the viewings going into the second map. So as 4 points wise, going from bottom up, we have Sandy Cuntown A, WCS Apex, SPU Peacocks Apex, UMT Apex Glaciers, Mustangs, King College, EKU Maroon, BPC Apex, and SAU Apex.
Yeah, and then getting here as we get into the top 10 teams. Yeah, I mean, these teams here, we didn't really see anything crazy come out of any of these guys in the bottom half of there, but they still could definitely come back and get some good kills. But I'm curious to see here how the points are standing now within the top 10, especially after seeing UB take that win.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at a lot of familiar faces here coming into this, as I was a production member last semester, and looking at some familiar names here. Mustangs was really good. EKU Maroon was really good.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see how high the ceiling has been raised coming into this new semester, and seeing that where these top teams used to be, maybe they're not performing the best, maybe they have some roster changes, or maybe the game has just gotten harder, and these characters or these players are just putting in the work to grind harder. And, you know, it shows in the rankings, as we see there is from, you know, the top 5 to even to the top 10, you can see almost like a 100 to 200 point difference.
Yeah.
And a lot of that could be KP, a lot of that could be placement. It could be a combination of the two, but really, really showing how, you know, how diverse this game can be in different ways that you can win. Some people may have better placements than others. Some people may just have more kills than others.
Yeah.
Especially in the earlier rounds, I do feel like kills are very important, but as things start to crank down, doesn't matter how many kills you get if you can't survive to hit the top 3 or even to win. All those points mean nothing if you can't win.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're only able to get so many kills and not place highly too, you know. So a lot of times the teams that end up taking a lot of those kills end up getting those high placements anyways, and so the teams that aren't getting those kills just kind of get snubbed out. It seems like a lot of the teams that get kills end up getting the majority of the kills, and so we see some of the guys in the bottom half just not able to really get anything.
But it's an interesting story, because in the world of Apex, if you are able to get enough points, like, you know, for example, the last ALGS, you had a lot of these teams who were really, really high up in the KP and with the placements that so you're supposed to reach a certain threshold, which is like, it's called match point. Once you reach enough points to hit match point, all you need to do is win a game. Doesn't matter how many kills you get in that game.
Yeah.
You just need to win a game. And I remember in this last ALGS, I think we had around like 5 teams who hit match point. And I don't think it was the last team who hit match point was the team to win it out. I think it was Space Station Gaming who won this last ALGS. And it's really interesting to see how, like, that's a mechanic of it. And you can pop off in the beginning, but can you keep it consistent?
Right.
Or are you going to be one of these teams who are like, you know, like, let it be a slow burn, you know, rack up the points, and then when it really matters, go for that win. But with that said, we are going to take another BRB right after this.
I'm not like a big Tyler listener.
Mhm.
So.
All right, and welcome back. I apologize for the delay. We had a little bit of a server issue, but we are back and ready for more Apex Legends here on World's Edge. And, like I said before, excited for more Apex, excited to cast some more, and excited to look at this mega map. Once again, players have learned their lessons. No one's congested anymore. Maybe a little bit down there in the, southeastern corner. I got my coordinates right. A lot of people correcting me off the mic, but now we got, something on. It does look like we're going to have a little bit of a conflict down in the southwestern corner.
Yeah.
Does look like there's going to be a little bit of a kerfuffle down over there, but does not look like anything is going to, going to happen right away.
As well as in the more southern central area, it looks like there were a few teams there. It looks like 2 or 3 teams who are fighting, and that might be what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, King's College is going to try and take a couple of pop shots over it here, but doesn't look like they're able to, really do anything. Doesn't look like they're able to do anything here. This is what I was talking about, this fight down here. EKU versus this team with Nagarwolf, Dingo, and Lost Noble. They might try to get out here, but I don't think that's going to happen. Dingo very low on health, going to get the knockdown with Sensei Turtle over here. He is going to get knocked in return, and they're just going to get the finish is over here, and I do believe that one was able to get out. Oh, actually, no, never mind. SCU Apex, gone. And EKU Maroon, I believe Sensei Turtle was the camping Gibby that kind of put APU? Who won last game?
UB.
UB. Put UB at a little bit of a disadvantage here with his little, turtle maneuver, just slowly walk up the stairs. But,
yeah,
good team fight for really early on engagement. Does look like somebody's going to get knocked with the Sheila. UI Absolute Fool is going to get traded with Gup Gup. There's a lot of trades going up there. Interested to see how that's going to happen. And, get a little bit of a replay to show how everything went down. So first was this knockdown over here onto Dingo. And then he's just going to be able to get out. And then his teammate is able to knock the person who is trying to, finish him or trying to get that second click. But, EKU Maroon, really strong first map here. And now we're looking at BCP Apex versus Vandals University with 2 down already. And Mastiff in one hand, R301 in the other. Maybe trying to hit this res here, but don't know if he's going to be able to get it off on the white shields. Is able to get the res here and maybe get a reset here. Nope, because SPU Peacocks has their eye set. 2 of their teammates are already down, but it does not look like Vernol is going to leave here without spilling a little bit of blood.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, very surprising from the Vandals. It seems like the last few games here, and as they look to try and clean up the loner there from SPU, I believe that is. Yep, SPU is eliminated. The Vandals seem to be performing kind of suboptimal compared to their place on the leaderboard being at the #1 spot by over 40 points.
It could have been a little bit of a combination of maybe just caught off guard or maybe they were just finishing at the end. But UMT Apex Glaciers does have their eyesight on what looks to be GFU here. 30-30 shot, or triple take shots, unable to connect here onto Xeno, but is able to get out without using a single Q as of right now. Gonna pop this shield cell, waiting for his teammates to reconvene onto his location. And I think it looks like we're gonna get into the middle of a team fight. Not sure how long it's going to last, but it does look like GFU is going to be at an advantage, having those blue shields, having those evil upgrades in their back pocket against UMT Glacier, who have not been able to do anything just yet. Does get the shield crack as well as half of his white health here, so it's going to slow down the engagement, which I think is a good thing as GFU's teammates are going to be trying to make their way over. It does look like Merchant is going to take a lot of damage here before he's able to rotate to help the rest of his squad.
Yeah, I mean, although UMT does have, they do still have those white shields, they're playing very smart here. They're not rushing in because that'd pretty much spell their death if they were to just run into George Fox here right now.
Absolutely. It does look like Vandals University is on the up now, almost completely killing and end up killing ASC Apex Royal. This is what we like to see over from Vandals, just a little bit of a comeback. Maybe a rough start, but we're back on the up now as they're just going to be tearing through whatever teams are going to be around them. BCP Apex is also going to be collapsing around the area in which that team was also in, so Vandals might be in a little bit of a ride here, but it does look like everybody is going to be hauling as the storm is closing in here pretty soon.
Yeah, and in a surprising turn of events, EKU Maroon was eliminated. after that very strong play in the beginning. It looks like we weren't able to get it on Alpha, but yeah, we did not get to see it, but I'm sure that they put up a great fight.
Unfortunate. But, you know, we got to look at some other players, so maybe not be able to see that, but we were able to see this, and what we get to see now is GFU Varsity completely wiping UMT Apex Glacier. This is what I like to see from my boys. You know, they got poked at. You poke the bear, and they're going to poke you right back. Pause. But we are going to go back into the rest of this game, and, you know, it is unfortunate. These teams are knocking out a little bit sooner than I would like to see, but, you know, that's just Apex.
It is Apex. You know, it feels like with Apex there's only 2 speeds, and it's either 0 or 100.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no middle fights. There's just fight, or, you know, maybe don't fight. Crouch and walk around. Camper cam it. We like a good camper cam over here at the ECAC Apex Collegiate.
We do.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, pretty slow now. BCP is taking their time, rotating back into Storm. Maybe put that Pathfinder ultimate there as a little bit of a bait. Could have sensed the presence of another team, but it does look like we're going to have another team fight here as Gray Matter and Speed Demon are going to be pushed back by what looks to be, might be a Sheila or a, I'm losing the words right now, Fuse. But it does look like it's going to be the start of a team fight. AWPE Apex is going to try and look for a pick here, trying to work around these Sheila shields, and the Shiva is going to just absolutely melt down onto these players. Not able to find the knock just yet, but with these grenades coming out here, it does look like it's going to be completely possible, as they do get the knock on the Pathfinder. A lot of red damage over here onto this other team. Maverick Gold is, you know, turning this what looks to be a very campy composition into something that's very, very intrusive, and trying to just, you know, trying to find something to do with it. AWE is going to try and reposition here as they do not get cut out or get caught out by the Sheila, as they know that is a very powerful ultimate to try and play against.
Yeah, and AWPE, although they do have the height advantage, Maverick Gold is able to just sit behind that barricade there and just overload AWPE with those bullets.
Yeah, and I mean, getting the damage amplification through those barriers is going to be very, very hard for them to deal with, but it does look like they might be able to find some space. Oh, shield crack onto the conduit. It does look like she's going to get them around half HP, super low, and knowing that, I feel like this is you know, gains to, or means to engage. Actually does get the knock onto the conduit, and it is up to AWPE to see if they are going to disengage onto this. Does get a knock due to trade knocks here. Fuse is going to go down onto the side of APU, and then Maverick Gold is going to be looking at getting this final knock onto this Pathfinder, and AWPE is eliminated at the hands of Maverick Gold.
Yeah, and that's what we love to see from Maverick Gold. They took a position that I'd say was probably disadvantageous, as they were being looked down upon by AWPE, but they were able to use their teamwork and their good aim, and yeah, come back from that.
Yep, and then OC Eagles is going to be denied the evac tower, as another team looks upon them and just says, nope, you're not using that. We're not allowing you to use that, and you're going to stay in the storm until we tell you can go. But I mean, Cuffy and Derpy Ninja Frog, we've seen them in the top, in the final circle before. I believe that they can do it again, but a little bit of a camper cam here on the side of Cuffy and Derpy Ninja Frog as well. We're going to see how they're going to be able to do it. Vandals Varsity is going to be looking like they're going to be punished here. They are going to be down one. And it does look like we are going to try and find ourselves in a little bit of a pickle here. Mustang Esports successfully holding out 2 teams from barely getting into Storm. Not much you can do there. We also have Maverick Gold hitting the hitting the circle scan.
There we
just
go.
So they know if they, just so they can know where to go next. Also, a supply crate is going to drop onto Maverick Gold. How much more RNG can you have? I mean, a really good fight earlier. It does look like Mustangs is going to disengage on the teams that they are holding from Storm. Maybe they've seen that they were outmatched, or maybe they're going to let those 2 teams fight on each other. UB Apex Varsity is going to try and fight this other team. BCP Apex, however, it is too late. The Newcastle res is not enough to keep them away, and that is going to be BCP out of here.
Yeah, a great team wipe from UB there, our previous champions. But you know, it's only match 2. We're only on match 2 here. It could still go a multitude of different ways, and as we're in 8 squads left, we're over halfway down from our teams. The circle's still looking pretty large. But, you know, even with that, we've got our teams here at this point just trying to get into the circle and trying to reconvene. We've got Cuffy here. Looks like another little bit of a camper cam.
Yeah, and I'm curious what happened to Derpy Ninja Frog. I mean, Derpy Ninja Frog was holding his hand last time, but now he's just, you know, he's gone.
Yeah,
It's a mystery. I don't know what happened.
it is. We'll never know.
But as these teams are going to be engaging here, it does look like GFU is going to be making an engagement on another team here. Conduit Ultimate is popped onto the side of Vandals Varsity to try and hold them back a little bit, but they are down their Pathfinder, so it's going to be a lot of movement gone. Does look like they're going to try and get engaged onto here, and does look like there's a little bit of a 4th and 5th party here trying to find their way down. Xenoplays is going to pop his ultimate here onto his teammates so that he can get a little bit of a better chance here trying to get out. Does look like TMPDX is going to go down onto the side of GFU Varsity. Looks like Xenoplays is going to get knocked by the nemesis of UI Odi. Now we're just going to be waiting here for a little bit, seeing what's going to happen, how they're going to play this through. Profitable Merchant is going to be the last one here. It's no longer Xenoplays or TNPDX in the fray, but it does look like TNPDX does have that gold knockdown shield, just hiding down, trying to see what he can make happen here. But I think a craft and a respawn might be in the best way to do it. But we did it to everybody else. We got to do it to my boys. Profitable Merchant, you are on the camper cam. That's unfortunate. And Vandals University does look like they are going to be in the middle of a team fight here with Mustangs Esports. It is going to be a 2v2 situation, but it doesn't look like either team is going to be engaging each other just yet. Looks like they're going to respect each other. Newcastle Ult is popped onto the side of the Maverick, or not the Maverick, excuse me, on the other team, but on the Mustangs. But now we are just going to be waiting them out. UB Apex and Vandals, or Vandals and Mustangs. Bro, all these names are names, characters, heroes. I'm screwing myself up. Does look like they're going to be third party though. Vandals Varsity going to be getting UB, shooting them from behind. Going to get the knocks here. Vandals Varsity are going to get wiped out by UB Apex, but do they know that the Mustangs are still there? Doesn't look like they really do. Doesn't look like they really care because they know that there's only one way for them to go, and it is out of the circle and right back into them.
Yeah, I mean, UB is definitely, we can see them playing aggressively. This could be due to their previous win, or maybe they're just feeling really great about this game. And so, yeah, it's really interesting to see here. And then Cuffy, again, with the camper cam.
Cuffy is going to be the center of attention. That is 3 camper cams. Maybe we can leave him alone next time. I mean, let him acknowledge it, but you know, just let him play the game. He's just trying to survive, get that placement points up. But yeah, it does look like it's going to be a very tough team fight coming out here pretty soon. Here, Bangalore Q is going to be popped off, and it does look like Gray Matter is going to try and spot somebody out with the Valkyrie, but doesn't look like anyone is really going to be pushing anybody's buttons just yet. UB Apex stand on the underneath of them, and maybe trying to get a Skynade here onto Maverick. We got the Devotion out, but it does not look like anybody is exactly making any big moves as of right now. It does look like they're just going to let them take their space. I lied, never mind. UB is going to get crazy here, popping that Newcastle ultimate onto them, trying to see if they can get a pick out here. But both teams, while they're both getting them very low, no one's exactly been able to get knocked yet. Lazy Kapu does look like he is very low on health, but it's going to be UB able to get the first knock onto the side of the other team. And are they going to be able to get the finish here onto this last player? It does look like it's going to be a 2v1 situation. Maverick Gold is a little bit of a disadvantage here. Notices his numbers are down, and so Zach Snason just decides, you know, let me just Q out, ult out, and maybe I can re-engage here if somebody gets it. But Profitable Merchant, once again, on our camper cam. That's what the campers get. I'm sorry. Profitable Merchant, hey, I love you, but so everybody gets it. Yeah. Mustang Esports is going to be moving out here now as they are down a member permanently, but you know, not much you can do there. Debating on whether he should do the Hemlock or the other gun, but it does look like he's just going to stick with the Hemlock. You know, that burst action is better than the LMG. Fueco, very low here actually. Kind of curious if he's going to pop that that ult charge. Going to drop down the recon beacon, not to call anybody, but just to give them a little bit more of extra cover, as the recon beacon is unbreakable. So I am very interested to see how that's going to play out here. Cuffy in the middle of zone 4. I don't think he's able to get this off, and he's going to die via Storm. Does look like UAOD is going to get KP for that, as they did do a lot of damage to them before that. So, I mean, it is unfortunate, but they did try their best. A little bit of dance party here from RMC Apex. I mean, what more can you do? Lilim is in the Christmas spirit. Love to see that.
Yeah, it looks like King's College here is going for a little bit of an engage, while the Mustangs are just sitting in their building. Looks like they're healing back up. Maverick Gold now with 2 of their members. Not sure if they're going to be able to get that craft off to get their teammate back.
Does not look like it, no. And it does look like they're just going to say, hey, we're done waiting. We probably have better shields. Let's gamble it. So they are going to get the knock onto one of them, and then they're just going to get the finish, and that is going to be that team with another beautiful team wipe. I mean, they really said just take no prisoners. Everyone's getting some of this, some of that. And you know what? Kudos to them. They deserve it.
Yeah, while that whole fight was going on, Profitable Merchant was just sitting below that bridge there, just doing his own thing.
Absolutely. And King's College does look like they want to try and aggress onto the team that just got that team wipe. Maybe hold some teams out of Storm. Oh, excuse me, they're being held out of Storm by these other teams, and they got to find what to do in order to try and equalize the situation. They do have the Pathfinder ult online, but maybe not the best place to use it yet. Gup is going to get very, very low here. Going to use his Conduit ult or Conduit Q onto himself and to his teammate, and it does not look like they can find themselves in an advantageous position to try and take back the ring control. Looks like they're just being held out by the oppressive forces of this team.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, looks like King's College is not faring too well here. I mean, they're just struggling to find a good position for them right now.
And yeah, I mean, just looks like this team is going to just be completely oppressive onto the side of them, and they're just going to be, you know, they're going to be the ones to hold it out. Maverick Gold is going to be down 1 player permanently, but does look like we are in one hell of a final circle here. We have RMC, the people on top. We have another team over there, and then with the Mustangs, and then we have Profitable Merchant just hiding in the corner, trying to get those placement points. Maybe get a pick out just to see who can try and get that KP. This team is also protected by their Gibby ultimate, or Gibby Q, excuse me. So maybe not too worried about the damage that's ensuing. Maybe trying to equalize a little bit here, trying to get that QP. And then we are going to try and look at this fly cam here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like UB is in another great spot here as they're being engaged by RMC in a battle for the high ground. King's College looks to be eliminated, and RMC isn't looking like they're going to fare much better.
Absolutely, but it does look like Profitable Merchant is just going to go and wait it out and see how it's going to go. It does look like he might hit top 3, maybe even top 2 if he can let these 2 teams hash it out in the next 20 seconds. There it is, top 3. RMC was eliminated, and now it's just who's going to take home second, third, and first. Does look like this team on the high ground is going to be very oppressive here in what they're doing. And it does look like Maverick is trying to wait out to see where that final person is, because it does not look like there is much much going on other than this fuse ult onto the side of Profitable Merchant, just trying to wait it out. Bangalore Q just to, eliminate those sight lines. Profitable Merchant playing it very, very slow here. Is going to get popped out here. It does look like he's going to pop that fuse ult right before he goes down, just to put them into a little bit of a pickle. What a spiteful thing to do onto Profitable Merchant, and the next team is just unable to move out and just going to get completely fired down upon from UB Apex.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably in the worst position they could be in right now, with UB just sitting up top, able to rain down on them.
Not also mentioning the numbers advantage here, as well as the ultimate advantage. Just being able to let them know, like, hey, you're not going anywhere. Lazy Kaput does get a knock onto Zack's Nation, and it is going to be just a 1v3 situation, and it is going to be UB taking map number 2. Congratulations.
Yeah, very well played by UB. It's looking like they're going to be our contender here for our high placements and our wins, with them taking 2 out of our 4 games already.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, great plays from them. What would you say was the highlight of that match, probably?
I think UB just being very dominating, in not the sense of, taking a lot of team fights, but when they do take team fights, it's very clean, very surgical.
Yeah.
And then they get out, restock, and then they wait for another opportunity to come to them. They're not necessarily going for opportunities. It's more when opportunities are presented to them,
right,
they take it without a second thought. But that entire match was, I really liked that entire match. So really interested to see what the replays have to say, throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the replays too. And as we look here, we can see the Vandals popping out on that solo there, getting rid of the SPU Peacocks. And the Vandals again, looks like they also were able to take out ASC Apex Royal. The Vandals were coming out really strong here at first in this last game with multiple team wipes. And unfortunately, they weren't able to keep that. And here's a great team fight where AWPE was holding the high ground, but they weren't able to keep it. And UB here was they were struggling for quite a while, but they were able to come back on top.
Unfortunate for Cuffy here, tried his best, but in the end, it didn't necessarily pay off. But I mean, like we said before, and we're probably going to say over and over again, we're not professionals, but that's just Apex.
Yeah, it's true. And with Apex, it moves, like we said, it only moves so fast. It's either all at once or nothing at all. And so seeing these teams here pulling off these really amazing team wipes there in the replays, that was really great to see.
Yeah, really funny for Profitable Merchant too. Really funny for Profitable Merchant to pop that fuse ult onto the team that was shooting on him. It was like, oh, you wanna make me place third? All right, fuse ult, fire circle. You're not going anywhere now. And, I think that just kind of settled it. He knew where he was placing, and he was like, all right, if I'm not winning, neither are you guys.
Right.
So, I mean, props to UB Apex for, again, they were handed a win on a silver platter, and they took it gracefully.
Right, yeah. I mean, Profitable Merchant definitely laid that out for them there. And with the third place placement from GFU, we see them definitely, they're not coming out on top, but they're definitely keeping their name in there. And they're sticking in that top 5, top 3 range, which is really impressive.
Right, and I am interested to see if they're able to keep up that trend as we move on to map 3, and we are going to be switching it up and going to Stormpoint.
Yeah, Stormpoint. I think it'll be really interesting to see how different the teams will be. I'm curious to see if they're going to bunch up again at the beginning, and then maybe in round 4 we'll see them dissipate, or if we'll see them play sort of similarly to how they were in this last game, to where everybody was kind of just spread across the map.
Absolutely, and we will get to that after the break.
Thank you.
And welcome back. Sorry about that BRB screen, but we are now going into map number 3. Having a little bit of production goof around all around us. I see you smiling over there. What are you doing over there? What are you doing? What are you up to? You look suspicious. Look at him. But we are going to be going into map 3, which is now Storm Point, which is going to be the last final 2 maps we're going to be playing today. It's going to be one more. This map on Storm Point, next map on Storm Point. Hopefully we can end it off like that. But then we are going to, moving into it. What do you think is going to be a turnaround here that some teams should be making in order to counteract UB's playstyle?
I think honestly just matching that aggression that UB has and not resorting to cowering inside of a building. Because it feels like UB is able to get a lot of people when they're in their most vulnerable. And so I feel like the teams need to be, they need to have their guard up at all times. Even if they're in a team fight, they got to be ready to engage anybody who might want to come along in third party.
Absolutely. And me personally, I love Storm Point, Zeus Station. I love landing there. This is actually like one of the maps where I first learned how to play Apex. I thought I was going to be better at it, having producing it and having been behind the scenes for so long. I thought, maybe I have a little bit of insider knowledge now. I play the game, and it's like, I have no idea what's happening. But, this is what we do. I mean, ever since we started playing or producing Apex, I think I put about 200 hours into the game.
Yeah.
Which is shameful to admit. But, you just got to do what you got to do, and I do love this game. It is super fun to play, and as we look at this fly cam, I mean, it's just such a beautiful map. I love the just the colors and the color scheme of it. So
yeah, it's very aesthetic. That's one thing about Apex is that it is very beautiful when you just get those big fly cam shots, and it looks like people are going to be landing pretty distant from each other. We see a couple of teams landing on top of each other in the center of the map.
Yeah, and we can see Speed Demons team with Corrupt's team, might have a little bit of a kerfuffle here, but, it is interesting to see how that's going to happen. We're going to have GFU going down to Beast. Really big map, really a lot of places to, loot over there. There's also just a lot of cover as well, but, I mean, just looking into it, does look like it's going to be a little bit of a slow start other than those two teams who are going to be, maybe engaging each other in the beginning, maybe going to feel each other out. Maybe that's going to end in a team wipe. Or maybe it's going to end in a bit of a disengage. But it does look like 3 teams are going to be knocked out of the gate, leaving us with 16 teams before the first circle even closes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really just how it goes with Apex. Depending on where the teams land, sometimes you just get a bunch of team wipes right off the bat. I mean, in the beginning stages of any battle royale, but especially Apex, the guns you get at the beginning, they matter a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's possible. You got to hit those shots. If you pick up a Sentinel and someone else has an RE45, right? It's who's going to land more shots, and at the end of the day, it's who's going to, just who comes out on top. Either you have an ability that is able you to have a little bit more of an advantage during a team fight, or are you just going to have better aim and not even allow them to cast those abilities and have your team be, preserved throughout the map. But it does look like there were 3 teams that were just unable to perform. Maybe they just got bad loot at the beginning and just kind of fell to the hands of fate.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no way to tell. There's so many ways that the beginning of these games can go, and even the people who might get guns that aren't great for those close engages in the beginning, they might still be able to pop off and get those team wipes.
Yeah. It does look like Maverick Gold's team is going to be coming up onto another engagement here. With this team onto just shooting at them and trying to feel them out a little bit. This was a team we were talking about earlier where they just landed on top of each other, and now they just gotta either fight it out, get out, or they're gonna just get third party, which is unfortunate to happen, but it is what it is. It is what happens. There's gonna be this team onto the stairs. Grey Matter is gonna go down to Antics here. But it does look like it was not for free, as they were able to get the shield crack onto the Conduit. Conduit does use her Q on herself. Sheila is going to be onto the cover onto Grey Matter here, but it does look like their teammate is going to try and reverse it. Antics does get knocked as he was very low health from their last engagement. Crypto is going to get knocked here, and he's going to get pinched on both sides. Zax Nation not necessarily sure what to do here, and Maverick Gold is going to get eliminated to that other team.
Wow, yeah, not exactly what I expected coming from Maverick Gold. It looked like they were holding themselves pretty solid there.
Yeah, but when you have like a piece of the map that is very, there's a lot of different entry points. I think that it's really important to know that you're not going to have a bunch of room to move in or a lot of room to cover when there's 4 different access points and there's only 3 of you. One of those is going to fall short, and if it's unfortunate that you are looking at the spot that no one else is looking at, it is going to be unfortunate. But it does look like Purdue is going to get third-party Crypto Ultimate going on to them. As they just try to get their shield back. But like I said before, there are so many access points to that high ground that they have so many different places to try and, take fights from. And it does look like they are going to come out on top, wiping AWPE from the lobby and taking all their loot.
If we look at it, UB was also eliminated. So it looks like they won't be able to take game 3. And as Purdue comes in on these people coming up from the zip line there, it looks like they are getting knocked. It looks like Crypto is very close to being knocked. And everybody's dead. Purdue is eliminated.
And that is unfortunate. But like I said, there's that second party, that third party, and now it is the 4th party. BCP Apex to eliminate such a predominant team in today's tournament. I mean, what are you going to do about it? You saw that 2 of them were very low. And, even though you were down numbers, you knew that they were just coming out of a team fight. So you just took your chances and hit it.
Yeah, I mean that's really all you can do. If you see an opportunity, it's probably not going to come back again, just because of how fast this game moves and because of how fluid the movement is. So if you're going to have that opportunity, you might as well take it.
Absolutely, and does look like GFU is going to be disengaging from that team. It does look like they were able to get the team wipe. That might have been UB Apex, who shot at GFU over by Down Beast and got knocked out. I could be completely wrong, but it does seem like that may be the case here. As they are coming out with kills and assists. So very, very proud of my boys to see them, get out of that engagement very well. It does look like they're going to take this evac tower, maybe for some repositioning. Maybe they know something that we don't. But very interesting to see where they're going to take this now. I do like this team comp over on the side of GFU. They have the Newcastle, the Fuse, and the Bangalore. Very, very good players. Like to see a little bit more diversity as far as roles go. But knowing GFU, they do have something cooking here. And Vandals University is going to start shooting at this other team, not letting them get out for free here. And yeah, they were able to get the res onto Kaizen, so very interesting to see how they're going to utilize this next fight.
Yeah, it seems like the Vandals here are trying to just play it safe. They're not looking for any crazy engages. I think at this point they're just trying to hold their spot on the leaderboard and just get the points that they can to keep their position as number 1. And after UB's 2 wins today, I'm not sure exactly how the leaderboard is going to be changed yet, but I know it's definitely going to stir things up.
Yeah, and in the way that I see it, it's either GFU, it's either UB, or it's either Purdue. And knowing that both of those teams are knocked out, I am very confident that GFU is going to take it out. Juanita College is going to get eliminated to the hands of King's College, and Vandals University is going to be looking for a rotation here as they get far side of the circle.
Yeah, it looks like the Vandals here are just moving around. It seems like they are seeing people and they're probably hearing people. They're just not quite sure where they can connect with them yet and get those shots off. With 11 squads left, we're almost halfway through the lobby, and 10 squads, 9 squads have been eliminated. The last one there being ASE Apex Royal, meaning that we're already down to about half of our players.
Absolutely, and without the second circle even closing, Mustang Esports is going to go down to the hands of Absolute Fool, bringing us down to 9 squads. And it does look like Absolute Fool is going to get that for free, has to use the Q on himself. Being able to take this engagement, OC Eagles is going to be the ones who are going to be the aggressors here. But knowing that Vandals does pop the Bangalore ultimate, they do have their own ultimates online, trying to reconvene here, stabilize, making sure that they don't get caught out. But they do get caught out by UI Kaizen. UI Kaizen with that knock onto Derpy Ninja Frog. That's their Pathfinder out. That's one of their movement abilities out. However, these 2 teams both have people with movement here, and it does look like he is going to try and take this fight here. He's going to try and Newcastle ult out of it, but he is very low. He knows that if he takes this engagement here, he might lose, and UI Odie is going to be the one to take that engagement so that the last member of OC Eagles is just going to disengage here and try and fight to live another day.
Yeah, the Vandals now are taking on a much more aggressive part. They stood there and they're fighting. They were getting Cuffy there as he tried to escape, but unfortunately was not able to. And we'll see if the Vandals here are able to pull through and get a higher position than they have been.
Yeah, and it does look like they're going to go for that survey beacon just so that they know where the people are. RMC Apex is going to be at an engage here down by this part of the map, and I'm interested to see where they're going to take it. It does look like he's going to get shot from behind, going to pop the Gibby shield just to reconvene here, but they are very low on shields. Not too much they can do here with this amount of shield, but they do have the Gibby ult. Does look like they might be ulted on as they do pop the Conduit ult on top of them. Maybe throw down that Gibby ult, try and disengage here, try to get where your numbers are. It does look like he's doing a little bit of damage here. Might be doing damage to the Conduits. But yeah, I'm just interested to see how far they're going to do. They are going to be held up by Storm from another team. Vandals Varsity is hearing the gunfire and is saying, hey, we want some of the action too. Let's get in there.
Yeah, yep. Vandals is definitely looking for a piece of that. We'll see if they take a more direct approach or if they decide to go for a third party here.
Knowing Vandals, maybe I haven't seen them perform too well here, so they might be saying, "Hey, we got to get our name known. We got to be doing something here to try and get our names on top of that leaderboard." So they might go for the little bit of a aggressive approach, as this team comp is known for its aggressivity. English is weird, bro.
Yeah, it is. I think maybe the word you're looking for is aggressiveness.
That's the one right there.
Yeah, and George Fox was able to get RMC Apex 2. Yeah, and it looks like they're going in for another engage here. They are rocking the purple shields right now. They're doing pretty solid for themselves here with 8 squads left.
Super aggressive play here from GFU, but little do they know that Vandals University is lurking around the corner. I'm pretty sure that this is the last spot that we knew that Vandals University was playing around. They could have went more up towards the high ground spot, so they could have known, hey, maybe we shouldn't take that engagement. But it is interesting to see. Never mind, they are right there, so now they're going to be wondering, where are we going to go from this point on?
Yeah, and I mean, really, it could be anybody's play here. I mean, GFU is pretty safe inside of this building, but all it takes is just one rush from the Vandals, and George Fox could be taken out. But they also, if they're able to hold their ground, could easily take on the Vandals here.
Yeah, it does look like the Vandals might be at a little bit of a poor situation, as the team who's coming up from Storm that GFU was going to fight earlier is looking onto them. It does look like they are going to get some knocks down here. People hiding behind some knockdown shields, but there are a lot of red health and shield cracks going on. But it does look like Vandals University might use this opportunity to try and engage from the back line.
Yeah, I mean, really getting out of the line of fire is the Vandals' best play probably right now, just because they're caught between two teams. They are able to, it looks like, get some kills here on Derpy Ninja Frog at the cost of a bunch of health, with Kaizen being knocked down here, and Odie looks like will be next.
And does Xenoplays does look like he's able to get the knock onto UI Kaizen, and Fearsome Graph, another third party, is getting the knockdown onto UI Cody. However, Vandals is not able to pull through, and GFU is on top, but they have to know there's another team there. There's another third party. Somebody with a triple take is looking down at them, and they need to know how to play around that if they're going to come out of this engagement alive. 30 seconds until the third ring closes, and they are very far from Storm, so this Storm is going to be closing in faster than somebody else who would be on the other side of it. But it does look like they're going to take some pop shots to try and push them off them, say, hey, we're here, we're not letting you get this for free, and you're not, we're not going to just take your engagement like it's nothing. So a little bit of map knowledge here and a little bit of looting as they try and even out this engagement. It does look like they're just going to try and run all the way far out. Going to pop this evac tower in a pretty safe spot, picking up some ammo and some shield cells, and it does look like they are going to get out of here for free.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like GFU has caught a wave, and they're just trying to ride on it. They're trying to capitalize on the opportunities that they've gotten. We've got 3 kills and 2 assists from Xeno here. And, yeah, I mean, it looks like George Fox is in a great position right now.
Absolutely, and they're just trying to see it. Even though they know that they have the high ground advantage, they know that there is a possibility for a team to climb up this hill and try and take away this high ground from them, or even just catch them off by surprise. This spot is advantageous for the side of GFU, but they need to know that there might be a chance. It does look like the 2 teams that were behind them is going to be coming out from the other side of the circle, but it does look like these 2 teams might be coming into an engagement soon, as Poppy sees Fearsome and Dreadlord. And here it is. UMT is going to be taking this team fight here. Does get the kill onto Vernal, or the knock, excuse me, but he is going to be punished by this Sheila, who's shooting from them from outside of the Storm. Unfortunate plays here, but it does look like UMT is going to try and get their things together, try to knock out here. But it is Sheila from the inside of the Storm who is going to get that final kill onto UMT Apex and trying to get that. I think it does look like OC Eagles is going to try and fight for their lives, but it does look like they get knocked. TNPX is going to get that final kill onto Fearless, or that kill onto Fearless Crow, and now it's up to SPU Peacocks to try and equalize here. They think they're calling down a respawn beacon here to try and get Vernal back, but is it going to be enough, and is there going to be enough time before they have to start rotating into zone?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know really. With 5 squads left and the circle getting increasingly smaller, engages are going to be happening a lot more frequently now, and teams are going to have to be a lot more careful as to which engages they take, because any engage, if not played properly, can almost guarantee a third party coming in to try and wipe up whatever's left of the two teams.
Absolutely. Conduit ulted it onto themselves, but it does look like TNPDX is going to get a knock onto Corrupt, but Sino is going to trade it with TNPDX, and he is going to get finished by his squad, but it does look like he was able to get the knock here. But the rest of the squad is going to come in. Xenoplays is going to get that kill onto Antics, and Profitable Merchant is going to use his Q onto Corrupt here, and it does look like it is going to be a trade-off, a 2-for-1 trade-off here, and it does look like there's going to be a Crypto who is going to be coming out from the outside, trying to slow down these two teams and slow down the engagement. It doesn't seem like it's going to be enough to stop GFU as they have this drone inside their house, but they are able to break it, but they don't know where it came from, so it is reasonable for them to be kind of scared here. They are down 1. However, it's not impossible to not get him back, as they do have this respawn beacon ready, but is it going to be enough time before the storm closes?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be cutting it close. It would be really valuable for the team to have TNPDX there, but definitely not impossible for them to still come out on top with 2 players left.
And those are like BCP Apex is going to start taking shots onto this Bangalore here. Sino with the purple shields is going to try and take this fight, and unfortunately the Conduit on the other side isn't able to land the shot, so Sino is able to get out for free, essentially. Does know that his teammates are also there, but he also knows that GFU is there. Does get the shield crack onto the Bangalore. Not able to hit the final things. Sino does get the knock onto Vernal, who's keeping him out of the storm. He's gonna get hit by that Fuse Q, and unfortunate to see that Fuse is not able to know where this is, but it is going to be TNPDX to get his revenge onto Sino, as he did kill him earlier, but he said, nah, now it's my turn. GFU is going to be down 1. Xenoplays is out of the picture here, but not to say that it's not impossible for them to make a comeback here. Very good rotation here onto the side of TNPDX, trying to regroup with his boy Profitable Merchant. They are going to be down 1, but it does not look impossible. But it does look like it is going to be increasingly difficult, as EKU is going to hold out the rest of these two teams here, as they are set up 3 strong with these rampart walls. So it is going to be a very, very hard fight for GFU and this other team trying to make it into this final zone.
Yeah, and if EKU continues to hold this position strongly, then it is going to be tough for those other teams. But I've got a feeling that they're going to get impatient and they're going to come down from their perch. It seems like that's almost always the case.
Absolutely, yeah. And GFU Apex is going to be making the far rotation here, trying to get out of the line of sight. They know that there's somebody in that down over there. It is going to be a Vantage, which is a very interesting play here, but they are going to try and wait it out here. That is going to get knocked out, get that shield crack, and they are going to get completely eviscerated by this Sheila here, but they are able to get that positioning down. Other team knows that they have a Vantage, or yeah, they're going to have a Vantage here. But I do believe that GFU is going to be able to make this rotation here completely safely. Knows that the team is there and pops the ult onto themselves. Shield breaks the Vantage, knocks Lizard King here onto the side of the on the other team, and does get the knock onto Gelatin. And it is going to be a 3v1v1 situation. He does get marked by the Vantage, or the Crypto, excuse me, and does get ulted there, but is able to calm it down a little bit. TNPDX is our kill leader in today's match, and it does look like he's going to have a little bit of a difficulty here, trying to deal with that Sheila, who's just completely oppressing him with fire. Profitable Merchant is still up, but I'm not too sure if he's able to get the res. He's going to go for the res here as they try and equalize the fight here. It is going to be a little bit more equal if they're able to get that fight, that res up. They are unable to, and it does look like GFU Apex is going to get eliminated. They are going to place second, but that is not without knocking down at least one person. Gup was able to get the knock with the Nemesis onto Mario, and it does look like this other team is going to try and engage onto it. It is just going to be Gup on the side of King's College, but it does not look like he's able to, completely work on it. He does get the no-scope onto Sensei Eternal, and that's going to be a huge pick going into this team fight, as he knows that it's going to be a 2v1 situation. However, he knows that he has the better gun, he might have more health, and he's going to try and solo this. I'm very interested to see where this is going to happen. Trying to hit the shot on the rampart, unable to connect, and it does look like EKU Maroon is going to finish it up. But what a beautiful play from Gup there. That no-scope was a thing of beauty.
Yeah. Gup did a great job, and King's College isn't really a team that's been performing especially great, so that was wonderful to see them there in the top 3 and ended up placing second. Gup, he was doing his best. There's only so much he could have done in such a small space there, especially against 2 players. But, honestly, great performance from all of our teams. With GFU being able to pull off a 3rd place again, just great performance from everybody.
Yeah, and I think what's important to know is that there was a lot of KP on the side of GFU, but that goes to show that there's a lot more of that of those building structures on Storm Point, so it's a lot easier to capitalize off of those Rampart plays.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see what the replays are looking like as we go into them, to see how we were able to get to the point where we are now.
Yeah, it looks like we've got GFU here with TNPDX trying to pull off kills on that whole team there. He was able to pull off a lot of damage. He was able to knock Lizard King there. And then with King's College, this is Gup hitting that no-scope, I believe. Gup played really, really great this last little bit, and unfortunately, though, he was just not able to pull it off in the end. With EKU Maroon taking the victory.
Yeah, I think there's just too much to look at. I mean, at that point, what are you really gonna do? I mean, for me personally, I may have gone for the elimination when I knocked that crypto, but maybe you just couldn't maneuver around the knockdown shield enough, or maybe you just had a little bit of difficulty. Maybe he just thought he had it. Knew that there was one knocked, another one pushed him, so he knocked him. So in his mind, it might have been a 1v1 situation.
Yeah.
And then gets a big surprise when it is a 2v1 situation.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, isn't able to hit a second no-scope with the Krabby, but, it is what it is. Very, very good showing from Vandals. Very well played. I love the Sheila plays.
Yeah.
And, what else can you do? You're out in the open. If you're a GFU or if you're that other team, you're just out in the open and there's not much you can really do. So it's a very, very hard game to play when you have to play around shields and a minigun and scans and EMPs and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. If there's one thing about Apex is that there is so much to think about, because there's so many different utility items that players have to worry about that might reveal their location or impair them in some way, and especially with all these other teams that are trying to also use their utility against them. It's very tough to keep track of everything and ensure that you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we are ready to move forward here. If I'm correct, I think we can move forward into what we're going to be going into next.
I believe that is match 3.
And welcome back to ECAC Apex Legends Collegiate, and it's almost done. We're almost done for today. I'm sad.
Yeah,
I
I
want
know,
more
right?
Apex, but
Yeah.
no, it is what it is. We got four. We are on our fourth map, last map of the day. But not to say the least, I want to say that this is going to be a culmination of what everybody's going to learn. Everybody knows that their backs are against the wall and they need to perform here, as this is your last match until next week. So, interesting to see where these players are going to go as far as the playing goes. It does look like we're going to be down 5 teams as we start this, and some people are going to leave. Maybe there was a scheduling issue or something like that, but we are going to be starting off with 15 players. Some of those are not complete teams, but it is what it is. Can't really do much about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we do have a solo.
I think we have 1 solo and 1 duo.
Yeah. Interesting. Not the MPS lobby that we've had.
No, but definitely, nowhere near as where it could be, but it is what it is. And we're going to try and see where we're going to, progress as we move forward. So let's see how these players are going to be taking the map. It does look like there's going to be a first drop. Doesn't look like anyone else is really going down to Barometer. Maybe 2 OC Esports may look like they might be dropping to Barometer, but as we look at the fly cam here, we can see those different trails and where those people are going to be leading. So I'm very interested to see how the teams rotate out here. Those look like a little bit of a wider spread. What can you do? 15 teams, right?
Yep.
Also, some people that are just solos, but I do have faith. We are fans of campers here, and I'm very interested to see how they're going to be able to pull out here as we get into this last game. Maybe they get higher than we think. Maybe they get some team wipes by themselves. Is it likely? No. But is it impossible? Also no.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we look at it here, I know we have a few teams that are landing on top of each other on the eastern side of the map. RMC looking like they have some enemies who are also landing near them. I'm curious to see if there will be an engage here or if they're just going to kind of chill in their buildings.
Yeah, and it does look like there are the teams who are landing in the outer skirts, and it does seem like a lot of these teams thought that, hey, maybe we should go in the middle. That's where not a lot of people go, and a lot of people also thought that. And there were the very few who thought, let's just keep it consistent, do what we know what's best, land on the outsides, and work our way in. It does look like 5 teams might have taken that same mindset. But Vandals University very quickly going into a fight. UI Odie is going to get a knock onto the other team, and it does look like it's going to be up to the rest of Vandals to try and get the cleanup onto the rest of these teams here. Very interested to see where that's going to go. Is going to get a shield knock onto the Bangalore. Does not necessarily mean a knock, as UI Odie does knock Grey Matter. Maverick Gold in a bit of a hot spot here, as it only has a triple take and a longbow. Both very fast-firing weapons. Not the fastest, could be faster, but definitely not the slowest. And I'm very interested to see if Maverick Gold is going to be able to try and get out of this engagement here, or if he's just going to get completely wiped on the side of the other team.
Yeah, I mean, really, Maverick Gold is looking like they've got people coming from multiple sides, and with just the one guy left, it's not looking too great. Although he was able to knock one member of UI, but unfortunately he was eliminated, meaning Maverick Gold is out of the race.
Vandals University getting themselves up there with the first squad wipe of the last match. Very unfortunate for Mavericks to get knocked out that early. However, I do feel like, it is what it is. You know what you're doing. But it does look like Purdue Apex is going to be on the third-party train as they do take out Absolute Fool from the Vandals. I mean, very unfortunate to do. But I mean, what else are you going to do? Purdue University is going to get this engagement here as they call out the I forget what this person's name is, but I know that they are very good. Vantage. Vantage is going to use their little bat to try and get into a better position here. Seeing as they just got that kill onto that one player, they know that they're going to be down in numbers, and it was a very important kill to get. And it does look like the Bangalore is going to smoke the box so that they're able to get the reboot card and try maybe disengage here. It doesn't look like Purdue University is going to give them the opportunity to try and do that.
Yeah, it looks like Purdue here is trying to come up from down below, but it looks like the Vandals being above them aren't going to let them have those kills so easily.
Right, and it does look like they were able to get the res off onto that other team. And we're able to find somebody who is hiding up here. It is going to be UI Odie who's going to get knocked by Red Dragon 3. But it did look like they were able to get the knock onto the other character. So that is, that is unfortunate, but it is what happened. Purdue Apex is going to get punished though by UI Kaizen, who is going to be on this Pathfinder trying to get this kill onto oh my goodness, UI Odie coming out with the clutch, killing Purdue Apex. But it does look like it wasn't for free either, as there's another team who's coming down from the southern part of the map to try and get the wipe the rest of Vandals. But Vandals, beautiful play here, beautiful res, and then way to come back as they, it was unfortunate what happened, but they were able to make the best of it and they ended up on top.
Yeah, I mean, absolute fool there. He was the first one to get knocked and then ended up being the last one surviving there. An interesting turn of events.
And with a wingman only in hand, I can only imagine the amount of pressure you're gonna have. 6 shots only into that in that chamber, and you're gonna have to make every single one count, as you don't have anything else really doing it. But you can get this nice little Maggie Q onto that, try to see where everybody's at, get a little bit of a cheeky angle here. Wingman isn't for everyone. Not everybody can, master the wingman just yet, but it does look like he's trying to get these vultures who are trying to loot the rest of the boxes. But it looks like King's College is going to get knocked here. Does get the shield crack onto the new castle, but is that going to be enough for them to win this team fight? I don't think so. Gibby is going to try, or he's going to try and cue this Gibby bubble and try and get an advantage here. But as you can see, Newcastle down here with the Spitfire and the car. They do have a Caustic and they have a Gibraltar. These are very, very not rat heavy, very like hokey, like bunker comps.
Yes,
that's the word.
There you
that's
go.
the English. Bunker comps. It's very bunkery the way they do it, but it does look like they are going to try and get out here. Spitfire, not for everybody. A little bit hard to control it, but they do now can loot easily, knowing that they don't have that that bubble over their shoulder. But they might take that that Pathfinder ult and try and hit it, maybe get a little bit of a kill here. But I'm interested to see. Okay, Wingman Mastiff. I thought Wingman Sentinel. I'm like, ooh, going living up to your namesake, you absolute fool. trying to run 2 snipers at the same time. But all right. We didn't need to do all. I respect it though. But yeah. Interested to see where Vandals University is going to take this, as they are coming off of a really, really crushing victory, you would say, as they were able to fend off Purdue University, but then still get hit get out of another team fight with one less player. So
yeah, I mean, and as of right now, we can see the southern half of the map is looking pretty spaced off. I mean, we see EKU moving towards UI, but we do see a large buildup of players in the northern half as the storm is closing in here. We see GFU along with some other teams who right now are looking to just make their way into the circle.
Yep, and it does look like GFU might be in the most advantageous position here to try and take this next map, as they are in the next zone already, just waiting for other people to come and do them. Looks like the only team in the circle right now, and it looks like other teams are trying to find a way to try and rotate in, but as you said, it is a very open map, so it might be a little bit harder. As we see here, EQ Maroon is going to invest a lot of ultimates into this next fight. Shield broken onto a Mad Maggie. It might be Vandals here who are trying to survive this EKU rush. I'm not too sure what their chances are, but it does look kind of bleak. They are setting out the rampart walls over here on the outside of the zip line and just trying to hold out this team for as long as possible. And I'm, kind of sad to see that Vandals is getting pinched like this, coming out from one engagement to another. But at the end of the day, that's Apex.
Yeah, I mean, really here, we have only lost 4 squads, and so there's still lots of engages that can happen. And as the circle continues to shrink, it's going to be very interesting here, seeing with how many teams we have still left at this point in the game.
Right, and it does look like Vandals University was able to get the res onto UI Odie. That is going to be so big for them. I thought they were going into this 1-member short, but it looks like they were able to get the res, stabilize a little bit, and then this other team just came in and said, hey, see that you're having fun. No more fun.
No, they hate fun. If there's anything about Apex,
They hate fun.
they hate fun. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the way that they're going to try and fight this here soon is going to be very interesting to see. Just trying to figure out where everybody is, knowing that they're going to be, posted up either on the high ground or super close. Super close is going to be something that is going to be in the minds of these players. But it does look like they have the they have it in the budget to try and wrap all the way around. As you can see, there is a little bit of a path that leads from the outside of the storm into a safer space, and it does look like the team that was shooting onto Vandals is going to take it a little bit more easy.
Yeah, the Vandals here getting caught in the storm, looking to take that pathway around to hopefully get to safety. But it seems like they're going to be coming out of it at least decently low, which is not going to be great considering they don't know who is going to be waiting for them as they get to where they need to be.
Right, just spray and pray. Hopefully you can do it out of it. And it looks like Juanita College is going to try to get Bangalore ulted here, as well as Newcastle ulted. So what they're going to do in response is just hit it on the outside and try and hit the thing inside there. But it does look like the team is going to go down. It does look like TMPDX does get to the knock onto Isopol. Lieutenant Godfather does get the knock onto Lieutenant Merchant, but Xenoplays is going to get that knock onto Lieutenant Godfather, and TMPDX is going to kill the last member of that team. And it does look like GFU is going to be having to fight off another team yet again. Let's hit the Arc Stars here onto this other team. Able to hit the shield swap. Does notice that one of them is down. It does hit the Bangalore here. It does crack him, and they communicate that in ways to know that they need to go on top of that. Capital Merchant getting the knock with the Mozambiques here, knowing that there's somebody on this high ground trying to manage their resources here properly in order to come out here on top. But does it look possible? It is looking kind of bleak. Does look like they're able to fend off a lot of people here. Fearsome Grab 18 does get knocked by the double Mozambique off of Profitable Merchant. It does look like it's going to be a 3v1 in favor of GFU.
Yeah, that was a great play by GFU. I mean, they had a bunch of people coming in ready to kill them, but they were not going to back down. They're going to keep their comms up, keep their cool, and do what they have to do to come out on top.
Absolutely, and that's what I love so much about GFU is that no matter how high octane it is, they are able to come through no matter what. And AKA Maroon is going to get knocked, is going to get completely wiped out here by UB Apex Varsity. Again, another team that is within high contention of GFU.
Yeah, UB, after getting eliminated pretty early on last game, we're seeing them in the top half of the teams remaining now, as they're looking to try and looks like they're going to be third-partying a team over there.
And they just knocked out our boys Vandals. That team just knocked out our boys Vandals, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like you said, they were going to be really low on resources coming out of the storm, and unfortunately they were the ones to get picked off. Trying to see if UB can get this ape onto the other team, but it does look like they were able to disengage properly, so now they're just restocking. I do love the new patch that they made. So at the end of, I think it's the third round, loot boxes reset and they give you better loot. I think it's a nice quality of life change. Some people don't like it. For me personally, I don't know how to loot. I don't know what to look for. So when I know that these boxes are going to have something good in them, I just, rely on that and just grab whatever I think is the best.
Right. I mean, yeah, there's only so much you can do, and especially after having a lot of the looting, especially from the loot boxes, happen in the beginning of the game, having them refreshed with better loot definitely is going to encourage people to explore more options instead of just going for the team fights.
Absolutely, and it does look like UMT Apex Glaciers is going to be looking at UB University over here onto this bottom part of the map. It does look like they might be able to get a couple of God nades through the windows here and try and equalize, this lobby a little bit, as UB is a high contender, and it does look like they're going to have a lot of shield advantage going into this next fight. Knowing that there's people fighting in there is going to be means to try and, get it out, but he does have the longbow and the G7 Scout and the Havoc in hand. Only one of those is really good in close ranges, but I have confidence that this team is going to try and work it out. It does look like it's going to be a little bit of a close engagement. Does get the stick with the Arc Star onto that Newcastle, able to get the shield break, but does not look like it's going to be enough. And he does get knocked from another team outside of Storm, and UB Apex is going to finish up whatever's left over of that team. Unfortunate, but it is what happens. They try to take a team that was a lot higher on health, a lot higher on Evo, and had arguably better weapons. They had no way of knowing that, but they also needed to know that there was a chance that their noise was going to attract another team, and that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, UB Apex almost coming out of the shadows here is now looking like they're going to be at the top of their class here, taking on the full aggressive nature as we see them move on.
Is this a camper?
This might be a camper
Oh,
cam.
camper cam. And he does get able to get the res onto his teammates, so it's not necessarily a camper right now, but you know he is able to get the rest of that. But you know, UB is just looking super dominant right now, getting all these high grounds, hitting those ult accelerants, and just knowing where the next team is at, and just saying, hey, you know, you're next you're in our line of sight, and you're gonna be the ones we're gonna send back to the lobby first.
I mean, yeah, with UB, nobody who they go against is safe. They are a force to be reckoned, especially with all of them now having those the red shields. They're going to be pretty beefy going into these fights.
Absolutely, and it just looks like it is going to be a little bit slower now, nearing the end of round 4, so we know that there is going to be a big congestion coming into the second to last circle. Does look like there is going to be a team on top of UB Apex, and they are going to try and look around for them, trying to figure out where they are, where they're trying to be at. This is going to be a Valkyrie that they do get, and it is going to be Chili Noon, the last member of Mustang Esports, going to be knocked and out, and that is going to be another point of KP and placement for UB Apex.
Yeah, now with only 4 squads remaining, it's getting to the last little bit here, and UB Apex could very easily, you know, if they're able to continue to hold their position and keep their aggression up, they could be a definite contender for the victory here.
Absolutely, and it does look like they are in a very good spot here. GFU Varsity in a little bit of a tight pickle here, but not necessarily in a bad spot either. They're on the polar opposite side of UB Apex with 2 teams in between them. And it's a question of how are they going to manage having these 2 teams in such close proximity to them, as well as trying to, you know, squeeze out the win here. And we're really hoping that this storm does pull for the side of GFU. And if it does not, unfortunately, we are going to be seeing one of these teams duke it out, and probably going to be a last top 2 or top 3 situation. One team is definitely going to be dying here. It does look like the storm does pull in the favor of UB Apex, and it does look like these SPU Peacocks is getting aped on by the other team. 2 of them knocked, and Alex is the last one who's just a sliver of health. SPU Peacocks is going to be the ones to ape on that. Let them, or SPU is going to be the one to knock out, and it is going to be GFU to be the ones to clean it up.
Yeah, and we see here UB right now. We've got Will Lin on the POV, and it looks like he's just looking for anybody right now who he can just shoot at and get kills at. They're seeing shots go off, so it looks like they're going to try and third party on whatever fight is going on right now. Either way, anybody who is out right now, and it looks like OC Eagles have just gotten killed, are going to be placing in the top 3. So now it's just, I believe, GFU versus UB for first place.
Yeah, it's going to be these 2 teams who are absolutely at the top of their games, trying to hit themselves, or trying to get themselves into that first place position to try and end off the map. UB is already up 2 points, and this is a revenge match on the side of GFU, trying to get this last point out. Does 60 damage onto that one person. I do not know exactly who it is. We do have ultimates online on both sides, as we saw earlier, as UB did pop those ult accelerants, trying to get into a good spot coming into this next map. A lot of ultimates here, but not a lot of them can be really used to win a fight, especially having that Pathfinder's zipline. Not much in sense of doing damage, maybe for positioning, yes, but these players are good enough to know that once you hit that zipline, you are moving in a static line, and it's going to be very easy for them to try and you know, just predict where they're going to be moving and where you're going to be going. It does look like they're going to be waiting for each other to feel each other out. Pathfinder does drop, does get extremely low on the side of UB, and it is going to proc GFU to pop their Bangalore ultimate and hit different angles. As you can see there, none of them are going down the same angle. Tien does use his Newcastle ultimate up on high ground, and is going to get pushed over here by the side of GFU, and it does look like they get 2 knocks, one into Fuego and the other into Hugh X, and it is just going to be one player on the side of UB Apex trying to get it, and it does going to be GFU Apex going to be the winners of final map for today. My boys pulling out the W. I know I could trust in you guys. You guys had my vote no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great play from GFU. We saw that that TNPDX there, as he was taking on people, his teammates were there supporting him, make sure it wasn't just him taking on that fight alone. And yeah, they were just able to clean up UB no matter how aggressive UB was being.
Absolutely. Caleb! Trying to get him here, but until then, let's look at the replays and see how this map turned out. It was a beautiful beautiful last play here from the side of GFU here that push onto TNPDX, and you can hear him calling for support there as he wanted that help onto that. And I think it was very, very important to understand how this worked. Beautiful shots here coming out from Zan, hitting this shot and then hitting the headshot onto this Pathfinder. Unfortunately, it was not enough as it does give him eliminated. And then Juanita College is going to get this knock onto the Fuse, but is not going to be enough to try and run it out. I mean...
And that was actually GFU there who pulled off that kill in the end. Great play from Fuse there. And then, yeah, we can see here GFU is just looking to do some peeks, looking to get shots off, and they almost knock the Pathfinder there. And, yeah, then here we're seeing, I believe this is the last kill where it's happening. We don't get it on the main screen, but we can see it happen. And GFU did great. Yeah, your prediction was definitely accurate.
That's right. Caleb, come here, post-game interview. Ah, unfortunate. Wanted to talk to him. Come here, come here. Man, he got homework to do, bruh. Wanted to get into the mind of one of the players of GFU, but I mean, it is what it is. A W plays from everybody. GG's, everybody who participated today.